Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy
a brother, an icon to those that know him. He is Endeavor Empire.
Oh, how we doing out there, everybody? Hopefully everybody's good. Everybody had a great day, good week, and you're somewhere in your day getting ready to start another good day. I want to welcome you out to the show. My name is Derek. I am Endeavor Empire. Just taking a little bit of time to enjoy the vibe. No, I'm not high, just enjoying it. Hopefully everybody's good. I love this track. I don't know why. It's just so beautiful. Just sit back and just think about things, how everything is going. In any event, today's show that we'll talk about, as I'm pretty sure the world is facing, especially our young children or our young adults, facing it any and everywhere, but mostly in our school systems. Today we're going to talk about bullying. Now I know we know somebody, if not us, have been subjected to such bullies. We don't know why it happens, but I like to give my opinion and kind of why I think it happens. It just seems that there's no ending in sight for it. I mean, we try to combat it, we try to rationalize it, and we try to do things so that it doesn't happen to our own children. But it happens. It happens. So, this past week, I was faced with two of my children being bullied. One of my kids is, I don't want to say, well, one of my kids is a little bit different than the others. And I know as a parent, we all don't like to use specific terms, but those terms do come into play. So, I'm going to share my story. And I'm going to try to see if there's something we can maybe discuss, maybe try to figure out how we can go about doing it a different way. I'm not sure, but I'm up for any and everything. But it's all good. So let's sit back. And if you got your red diamond tea, you halfway there. And if you got your vape, it's even better. So as I said before, I have a son in middle school. Actually, I have two kids in middle school, but this is the one we're going to talk about is my son and my daughter. My daughter's in high school. So I'll first start with my son. My son, who is very hyperactive, good kid. He is in therapy. He does do therapy. The therapy is for his emotional support and just on him how to navigate with life. And though he is very different than any other kid or any kids at his school, I still love him just the same. It's no different. And he's not treated any differently. My son was bullied by a group of students and was forced to fight in a bathroom while his fellow peers videotaped and looked out. Now, thank God nobody was seriously injured. But where I have an issue is that we see students that are more of a popular group or how can I put this? Or a certain breed or a certain caliber of student that feels that they can do any and everything and then they can get away with it. So this is how this goes. My son was eating lunch. Him and another student had an altercation. Now my son, upon him leaving the lunchroom and heading to his class, was followed by this group of students. The group of students, which then forced my son into the bathroom and kind of held him against his will. They kind of held him against his will. Because as my son tried to leave, there was a bigger student blocking the door so he couldn't get out. My son was then told not to scream, not to snitch, not to do anything. The students then proceeded to make him and another student that he had a disagreement with to fight. Now, I'm not sure of resulting of the fight, but my guess is that there were no serious injuries sustained. Otherwise, I wouldn't be on this podcast. So, after this incident happened, not so-called because it did, after this incident happened, my son then was on his way to his class. And upon him getting to his class, he was a bit scared. A bit shaken up, and a bit nervous, as well as he should be. So my son for the rest of the day didn't say anything. But upon him leaving at the end of the day, he was approached by an administrator. He did tell the administrator, I didn't do anything wrong, and that he had to go. Now, I did receive a call from the administrator. Now, again, I want y'all to keep in mind, this is my son, and kids don't like to tell any and everything, like kind of up front, until they're home with their parents in a safe space where they feel safe. And that's understandable. It's no problem. And I will give you just that story. So upon my son leaving, coming home, then he shared with me at what happened. And I asked my son, well, what happened? And he told me what I'm telling you, but he did tell me that the student had fallen into the bathroom or pulled him into the bathroom by his shirt and wanted him and another student to fight. While they were fighting, there were fellow other students that were videotaping it so they can post on social media just for a laugh, or for a ruse, or for whatever the hell these kids do, just to get the clout, just to get the fame, just to get the likes, just to say, hey, I was there, I did it, I seen it. So after my son had told me with his story, I did speak with the administrator of the building. Well, one of the assistant administrators, let me clarify that. And I kind of share with her my concerns, you know. And the concerns is, I'm not sure how the hell that there are no teachers never around when things like this happen, but I don't blame the teachers in 100% of this. I know as parents, we want to sit back and we want to place the blame on the teachers. But in my opinion, I think it's shared 50-50. 50% of the school administration, because why? They're on their property. And number two, your kids should know better. Your kids should know better. I don't want to hear any parent talking about, well, my son would never do this. Let me explain something to you. I have 7 children. I can read them like a book a mile away. They would see me coming any other way. So my son was videotaped. The video had surfaced, of course, as well as should, over the weekend. This was right before spring break, and the video was shared among fellow peers. Now, of course, my son, my kids were a little bit upset, and they wanted to take action. That's not the way we roll. We deal with things in a more different kind of way rather than violence, because violence, as we all know, don't solve anything. Yes, I am sorry for the ones that we do lose to violence, referencing to students, because I feel that it's not fair the way they get treated and how the outcome of these bully situations are. So my concern was with the school is that this is a new school. This school has the latest technology of everything. My also issue was that when I talked to the administrators and found out that the state-of-the-art equipment that they had, that my tax dollars went to, was not fully operational, up and running. Huge problem with that. This is a brand new school. When I say brand new school, this school opened up just this year. Just this year. So, of course, they did some digging. But as a parent, this is what I told the administration. This is not the first time this has happened. My son is a different kind of caliber of student. And he is easily targeted because of his condition and the way he is. And I feel that other fellow students take advantage of that, which they do, because my son is the only one that gets the raw end of the deal. My son is very hyperactive. And I know back then that we used to protect our kids a lot better than what we do today. We kind of want to integrate them into society or with these other fellow students. But what these other fellow students don't know, or they do know, the way my son is. And the sad and funny thing is, the students that were in the bathroom were supposedly one of my son's friends. And they decided to switch sides and go to the side of the winning side. Why? popularity, I guess. So the shit you see on TV with the bullying and the students in these movies, that shit is real. It ain't nothing fake about it. It's real. It's just brought to light to how to bring attention and awareness to the situation, because you never know who your friends are. These fellow students were loyal to a kid that threatened to slit my son's throat. And this was right before spring break. They threatened to slit my son's throat. Did anything happen? I'm guessing since it was spring break and they were allowed to go back to the school, nothing of that magnitude happened. With so much shit going on in the world and so much violence in these schools, where a student can threaten another student to slit his throat, and we shouldn't take that seriously. Let me explain something to you. My son, which is in high school, found a plastic toy gun. It did look real for the case that it had a orange tip on it. So it was like maybe a toy cap gun. We don't have that shit here in my house. But my son got in trouble for that because he didn't turn it in. Understandably, I get it. No problem. But my son had a whole damn hearing before the board. My son was transferred to another school in the district. He didn't point at anybody. He didn't do any obscene gestures with it. He wasn't stopped by the police. No, he was set up by a fellow student. And that was my son that's in high school. But my youngest son, which is in middle school, threatens to get his throat slit. And administration just lets it ride through spring break, hoping that it'll die down by the time they get back off of spring break, and everything will be copacetic, everything will be cool. Well, that wasn't the case. Wasn't the case at all. Because when my son got back to school, my son told me that the student was there and was still doing the same shit, different day. Still trying to get at him. Still trying to make him feel some type of way. I took issue with that. I did let administration know what was going on. And again, you know as well as I know that they won't comment on other students' issues or litigations or whatever. Not really litigations, but the problems or whatever. Well, I know damn near back in our day, this shit was kind of unheard of. Was I angry? Yes. Outrage? Absolutely. But as a parent, we want to protect our students. As a parent, we want to guide our students into a better world. A better world than what we have. But to be honest with you, I'd rather take the world that we had versus what today's kids have. Because I blame most of this shit on parenting. And I blame it on social media. And I blame it the way the world is today. Because these students feel that they can get away with any damn thing without repercussions. And in my opinion, they're exactly right. It's exactly right. Schools are let me correct that. Some schools are too relaxed. Not too relaxed. Too soft on punishment. Back in my day, if this kind of thing happens, you best believe we'd be in front of other parents. We would be discussing our actions. We would be in front of administration trying to work out a deal. And when I come to find out, the district that I live in, for as long as I've been here, I've not once heard or seen anything in reference to how we combat the bullying situation. I suggested to the building administration that you guys should hold rallies. You guys should have guest speakers come in. I've yet to see that in this district. I get a lot of emails on saying what we should do and what we shouldn't do, but I think that's kind of out of touch. I think if we want to engage a situation and we want students to be informed of a situation, I think this is what should happen. Now, the administrations of this incident, they were very apologetic. And I told them that this keeps happening with my son because he's targeted, because he is not like fellow students. And I feel that as a district, I think that you should make students aware of everybody is not the same, that everybody is different. And I feel that you should make aware that just because somebody is a certain way doesn't give you the right to pick on them. It doesn't give you the right to say and do whatever the hell you feel like you want to do because you are enticed or you are encouraged to do by fellow students. No. Mm-mm. I feel that the students that are in question, either you know their parents or you're friends with their parents or hell, maybe you live in the same damn neighborhood. I give two shits about any of that. You're here to do a job, and that job is to protect students from harm. Yes, your main job is to focus and educate. Why not focus and educate other students and kind of tell other students that, or hold a rally to say that, hey, everybody is different in their own way. We are a country of individual students. Everybody is different. We're not taught to think the same way. We're not taught to speak the same way. We're not taught to act the same way. Now, yes, in other countries you see that, but you don't see that here. So why not educate these students and say, hey, this is how we're going to do things. We don't feel that anybody should have to be bullied because of this, because of the color of their skin, because of the way they are, or because of who they are, or how they act, or or this, that, and the other. I don't think we take enough time to talk about things like this because I gotta tell you, as many emails I've gotten in this district since I've been here, and this district that I live in is a very good district. I just think we kind of dropped the ball on some things because these things aren't too important until something happens. It's almost like the district that I live in has a wait and see attitude. And the wait and see attitude is that we don't want to go too far, but we want to wait and see what's going to happen. Yeah, that's probably a bad thing to say, but that's kind of the way I feel. And again, I'm not angry with this district. I'm not angry with the teachers. I'm not angry with the student. I'm angry with the whole damn outcome. I'm angry because I don't want to say angry. I'm just going to say disappointed, because I'm not really that angry. I'm just disappointed that if we have a solution to the problem, why not use this? I further reached out to the administration even to say, why don't we have a sit down with the parents? I don't need the students there. Let's talk with the parents. This is what administration told me. We can give you their phone number and you can talk to them directly. And my thing was, what the hell? I said, well, we don't get involved in that. I said, well, why not? It happened on school property. It didn't happen at his house. It happened on school property. Why in the hell would you not want that? And I told her, listen, this is not going to be a shouting match with me. Just as the way I'm talking on my podcast, this is the exact the way I talk to the administration. I don't believe in yelling. I don't believe in fussing. I don't believe in cussing. It's not going to solve anything. It's just going to get everybody's blood boiling. And everybody's going to get angry. You know, we're just going to start saying some shit that we don't really mean. And it's just going to be for the moment. I'm not one of those parents. I'm not. But when they told me that, I was like, you know, back in our day, this sort of thing would draw the attention of parents. This sort of thing would have the administration bringing both sides in to sit down to discuss how we can further better educate our students and further get them to get along and hopefully get them to understand that what they're doing is wrong. In this district, they don't do that. If there's an issue or a disagreement on the parent that happens on school property, then they're going to say, well, is it okay to give you their phone number? I've never heard of that. I guess I'm old school, I guess. I mean, shit. Has anybody else heard of that? If you have, or in your district, if you haven't, please feel free to email me, because I got a feeling that this is far from over. Now, I'm not a parent that's going to threaten legal action and, you know, oh, I'm going to be up on the news. No, hell no. I believe in doing other methods because I don't need all the fame and glory. I don't want everybody to know that I'm this parent and I need to get out there and put the word out. The word is already out. I think we as parents need to educate our children on how bullying is and how it affects a person. And I think just because you come from a better background than my kid doesn't give you the right to do any and every damn thing to anybody. Because I got news for you. After high school, when the real world sets in, I guarantee you, karma will come for you. It will. If you don't change your ways, it will come for you. If you want to keep bullying other students, if you want to keep talking bad about other students just to make yourself feel good and to make your friends laugh. And that's the other thing. Friends aren't really your friends. This is exactly why I don't have friends. Was I bullied in middle school? Yeah. Did it last long? No. Probably no more than a couple days. Because again, I come from a long line of women. But my thing is, I had wanted to try to work with the district, and I still want to try to work with the district I live in to say, hey, I think you guys should hold rallies. I think you guys should hold rallies every quarter in reference to student. I think when you're coming into school and then when kids are back into school, that should be your first rally. Bully prevention or something else, or self-esteem, or whatever the hell it is. Sorry, I don't really have the right words right now, but I'm working through it. You see, back in my day, we would have these kind of assemblies where we'd have guest speakers come in. They would talk about bullying. They would talk about drugs. They would talk about teen pregnancy. They would talk about sex. They would talk about pretty much any and everything that would try to get these kids focused and ready. And that would not only happen in middle school, that would carry over to the high school, because we're preparing these kids for the world that we're going to leave them. But my issue is sweeping it up under the rug and choosing, you deal with it. That's fine. You can deal with it in your own way. Now, maybe I'm a little bit disappointed because of the punishment that was handed down to my son, who was just trying to defend himself. My son got 4 days of in-school suspension, when in fact, we know in some states, in laws, that this wouldn't even happen like that. If you started a fight and you instigated a fight, I guarantee you the other person would be charged with domestic battery. Or battery and assault. I'm sorry, not domestic battery, battery and assault. Sorry. I'm not really up on the cop lingo or whatever, but we'll just go with that. With battery and assault. And that's the thing that I guess I want these schools to try to implement. In the district, or the administration telling where our hands are limited, our hands are tied. I don't understand how we got where we are today. I don't understand how things changed from back then to now, how things evolved into where we are forgetting about how to take care of our students. Why not go back to what we used to do back in the day? Oh, I tell you why. Because we have some pansy-ass parents that think discipline doesn't work well for their student. And the type of discipline I'm talking about is holding your child accountable for what they're doing. I'm not talking about physical harm. No. I'm talking about consequences. Serious consequences. Because you know as well as I know, if any one of us, if we do this on our job or if we go out there and start a fight, we're going to go to jail. Now, I'm not saying that these kids should go to jail. I'm saying that there should be a strict punishment from bullies, whether it be community service to the school, whether it should take them to helping out with the homeless or helping out in a shelter, just to see what it's like. But we have students that have parents that are oblivious to the fact that their child can do no wrong. Their child is a good child. This is what I also told the administration. These students are playing the hell out of you. And the crazy thing is you're allowing it to happen. How do you have students in a bathroom and your security system is offline. But the student that actually instigated the fight is the one that went to the administrator and told them that my son had started a fight. My son. I'm going to level with everybody. Since we've been in this district, my son has never been in any trouble until he got to this school, which is a new school in the district. And I let the school know that. I let them know that. I said he has not gotten in any trouble of this magnitude. He gets suspended for what? For defending himself? Oh, well, the students had words. Of course, all students have words. Do kids cuss when they're not around their parents? You damn sure right they do. Well, he said this, he said that. And I think this is the other thing that gets lost with these school districts. I think you guys think these students are going to act a certain way when they come to school. Now, in some districts, yes. But in districts like this, I don't understand why everything is such a shock to you. And I came to the conclusion that I don't know if the administration knows these parents. I don't think they do. I think they're just trying to do it the correct way. But I think sometimes if the way that you're doing it is not working, I think it's time to try a more effective approach. And I think it's trying to try an approach that would benefit the student and will also hold them accountable as well as the parents. And sure, we get parents that come in that want to say, oh, well, how do you know he didn't do this? How do you know he do that? No, let me tell you something. As a parent, I, myself, and from what I've been told, I am one of the first parents to take responsibility for my students' actions. If it sounds like something my kids do and I know the way my kids are, you damn sure right. I don't need to deny nothing. Because here's what I tell my kids. You're not loyal to nobody but me. You're not loyal to your friends. Well, you're loyal to God. Sorry. God, sorry. Or sorry about that. I'm just saying, man, we cool. But there is no loyalty among fellow students. Because let me tell you something. When y'all get on that bus and y'all go home, it's a total different ball game. It's a total different ball game. In the U.S. alone, 1 in 5 students between the ages of 12 and 18 has been bullied during the school year. Approximately 160,000 teens have skipped school because of bullying. And why do you think that is? Because they don't feel safe. My son goes to therapy. His therapy sessions are in school through a program that is not affiliated with the Lee Summit School. Ooh. It's not affiliated with the school district. So he goes to therapy in school, and even they say that there are issues that are plaguing the district that they are trying to get help with, but they're not getting help because it's kind of falling on deaf ears. So I think that there should be another way should we approach this. I do know what that way is, and I do want to try to help that way. But if you are a parent and your child experiences bullying like this, maybe there's a way. I'm in a group on Facebook about bullies and parents, trying to, and it seems like the parents have the right things in mind, because here's the thing. I'm not discrediting any student. I'm not getting angry at any student. I'm not mad at any student. I'm not doing none of that. Ooh, excuse me. So I just want to, at best, help. And I don't know. Everybody that bullies somebody is either going through something, or they're doing it for the fame. They're doing it for the hype of their fellow students. Because I got to say, it's only for the moment. And when it's only for the moment, because the funny thing is, when you see these students somewhere just unexpectedly or randomly, they're not acting that way. And I think they're putting on a show in front of their parents. It's like they're living almost 2 separate lives. The lives as parents that you don't see. But let me tell you something. As a parent, I see all of what my kid's doing. And y'all can sit back and say, well, how does he do that? And how does he know that? Trust and believe, I do. And if you're a parent that's from the old school, then you damn sure understand what I'm talking about. Real talk. Real talk. Hey, I know I got to get my red diamond tea. But the outcome of that is still ongoing. They're still looking into it. And again, I still communicate with the district in trying to find a simpler and a better solution to the problem. And I think that as a parent, we have to be more effectively involved with our children. We have to understand, yes, I know it is hard for single parents. Yes, I know that we're working day in and day out, trying to provide better for our kids, but we also still need to understand that we need to take time to understand our kids. Talk to your kids. Talk to them. Find out what's going on in their life. You know, we see a lot of kids that shut down just randomly. They're unhappy about something, but we don't take the time to talk to them. We just hope and pray that the situation will resolve itself. And it resolves itself, again, with the wait and see attitude. And that's not the attitude I have. I don't have a wait and see attitude. I have a meeting in my family every Sunday. We discuss life. We discuss the work week. We discuss the school week. We discuss on how to be better. It is not a session for me to put you down. It is a session for me to build you up. It is a session for me to say, how can we make your life better? What do I need to do as a parent to step it up? The most commonly reported types of bullying is verbal harassment, followed by social media harassment. And then starts the physical bullying. And one of the worst ones is cyberbullying. So all of that is bad. You know, and it's sad that we have apps that want to be popular because you can put certain messages on their apps and it'll disappear within a certain amount of time. If that isn't the most dumbest app I've ever seen, I pray that the owners and the founders of this app, that nothing happens to your family, because it's just bad. Why would we want to try to keep something out that's not beneficial? You know, students post shit on social media because they think it's funny. They think it's a laugh. But when other people say it, we comment on it. Is that bringing awareness to the situation? No, hell no. I don't think it is. I think it's only making the situation worse. Why? Because these students have to go to school with people who've seen this, and that increases the bullying. That increases everybody to be angry, and that increases that person being picked on. So why in the hell would you want to go to school? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to school. I'm saying that you should feel safe in the school, but you can't feel safe when you have students that are doing this type of shit. You know, here's the funny thing is, in the district that my kids live in, their transportation department is outfitted with damn near 5 to 6 damn cameras. I mean, they're high grade technology, 4K video, 1080p, sound, location, all the shit, inside and out. It can then see the damn car a mile away and possibly tell you if the car is going to run the damn stop arm on the bus. I'm just joking. I'm just saying that's how good it is. That's how good it is. I'm just saying. But in our schools, a brand new school that just opened this year, we have a security system that is offline. I thank God that nothing hasn't happened. That's what's been going on in these other schools outside these other, outside the state. You know, I told the administration, I said, maybe you guys need to think about doing something different. Maybe try a different approach. Maybe try to get these kids in a better place. And they said, oh, we have X amount of kids. There's no way we can do that. I beg to differ. I've ran transportation in some of our inner city schools. And I got to say, their discipline is way spot on point than what I see in some of these suburban schools. If you do something and they can prove it and they know that you did it, there's no question. There's no talking about it. Oh, there's talking about it. Yeah, there's me. That's the administration tell your parent, this is what they did. Here's the video of it. Here's the consequence. Do you think for once a parent got mad and said, well, it wasn't my child, this, that, and the other? Well, some have tried. But when you have clear, precise evidence and cut crystal clear video sound quality and, them doing it, I mean, kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? I know a school that we ran transportation from that when you walk into the damn school, you could hear a pin drop. During passing periods, these students weren't allowed to speak. Some of y'all might say, well, that's kind of harsh, and I don't think that's fair. Oh, I think it's great. Great. That is discipline. Serious discipline. And that is discipline preparing you for that. When you're in the hall, you see somebody, you're not, that to me, that kind of cuts down the bullet. This school doesn't even allow cell phones in the damn building. Now, I know a lot of you parents are sitting back there, well, my child needs their cell phone. Think about this. Back in the day, we didn't have cell phones. If there was an emergency, we'd call the school. And here's the other thing. I don't understand why the hell a kid would need a cell phone in school any damn way. But then again, maybe a little bit of leeway, but not much. Not much. Because back in my day, we didn't have cell phones. And if something of this magnitude, something happened, there were things in place to try to, what do they call those things? Oh Lord, I'm all over the place. If there was an emergency, there were measures put into place to notify parents. But I think these kids and cell phones are a distraction because mostly they can get social media. How do we ban things on their apps, but we can't limit their usage to cell phones in school? There's technology that can do it. I'm sure there is. I've seen it before. You have technology that can limit the cell phone use, that can knock out cell phone signal. And don't say it's not, because there is. I've read up on it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, because I don't know the name of it. In any event, hang on here, I'm up here getting messages and things, I got to take a little picture and thing. But in any event, I think as parents, I think we should be more invested in our kids. I think we should understand what our kids and what our kids ain't doing. I think that if you know that your kid is a bully, or if you suspect that your kid is a bully, I think talking about it. This is the only thing I wanted to do. In real talk, I wanted to talk to the parents. I didn't want to sit down and have a whole shouting match. I just wanted the parents to understand where they're coming from, where I'm coming from. Again, my kids have a lot of friends, and I don't condone any type of bullying. And the friends they have are a good group of friends. They may razz each other in the ground. That's what friends do, but they don't take it out in public and kind of cause issues with it or, do something mean or hurtful to somebody. If your child has that kind of control over another student, I can only imagine what kind of control they might have over you. And I know these videos online don't make it any better, and that kind of gives these kids the idea that I'm in control. Let me tell you something about who's in control. Because the quicker way you're going to find out who's in the control is when you don't wake up for like 3 or 4 months on end. I'm in control. I run my house. You do as I say. If I suspect any of my kids are bullying, you best believe they will be met with punishment. And I actually did find that out a while back. When I found out my son was bullying somebody, not this son, but the other son. Oh, there were consequences, all right. How about, that new game I was going to buy you? I'm just going to give it to your son. How about those new clothes that I was going to get you? I'm just going to give it to the kids you bullied. Because clearly you think that this is supposed to happen. Did my child learn a very quick lesson? Oh, learned it real quick. And I think that's what you parents need to start doing. I think you parents want to sit back and baby your child. That world ain't like that. The world is not a sugar-coating frosting that you can just sprinkle on and tell them that everything's going to be okay. If you think you're going to be there for your child every minute on the hour, knock yourself out. Because I can tell you who ain't doing that, and that's this one. I keeps it 100% real. I don't sugarcoat a damn thing. The world is nasty. The world is mean. The world is rude. It just depends on how you choose to go through it. Do you want to be that part of society? You want to be mean, angry, always bullying people? Because let me tell you something. And 3 of my kids found this out. After high school, that's when the real world sets in. So middle school, we can kind of guide our kids to be better in middle school, because by time high school gets here, that's almost like you're living the real world. It is, because it's getting you ready for it. And I think you sitting back and bullying because you think it's fun, and your fellow friends, they're only laughing with you for the moment. I guarantee you, as you get older, as this goes on, it will quickly dwindle and die. And just because you think you're popular now doesn't mean you're going to be popular after school. Ooh, excuse me, I'm burping up a storm. Because that's not the way it works. I've seen kids that I went to school with who I thought was supposed to be that were voted the most popular. And it turns out, oh my God, it turns out the ones they made fun are actually way more popular than them. And what I mean by that is that they're living their best life. They're taking care of business, responsibility, and they are helping those that can't help themselves. I've seen plenty of those students do that. This is why when I was coming up, I didn't choose to talk about any students. I didn't choose to engage in that kind of conversation. No, I wasn't popular, but my sisters were. And even they didn't do that. They didn't. I had one sister that played all kind of sports. I had an older sister who was very good at what she did. And I had a younger sister that was special needs, and another sister that was very popular. But none of them never bullied anybody. Ever. Yeah, sure, they take care of their own. And again, I was probably bullied for about maybe a week to a couple of days to a week, but that quickly ended. So it's not nice to pick on anybody because you feel the need because you can, or you're privileged, or you think you're better than any and everybody. Because I got news for you. Again, that shit will wear off. And whether your friends want to stand behind you and do that kind of stupid thing, ask yourself this. One day, and I pray this day doesn't come for you, I pray that you don't bully the wrong person. I don't. I pray that you change your ways. I pray that you kind of, look at life in a different way. Because I'm asking you, what does anybody get out of bullying besides hurting somebody? You get nothing. You get nothing. It's just pain and misery. There was a girl I used to go to school with. It was back in, you know what? Let's just say it was back in the day. I ain't going to try to go back there and like, oh, yeah, he old. He old and he really old. No. There's a girl I used to go to school with, and she was a firecracker. When I say she was a firecracker, it's like every day she looked forward to making somebody's life miserable. Like she would come in, she would bully a certain group of kids. Hold on. She would only bully nerdy kids. Well, it didn't matter if he was black or white or Mexican. She would bully you. Yeah. She'd bully you. And fellow peers thought that was funny. Us being young in middle school, we just thought it was, oh, okay. Well, I did and they did. Not me. Sorry, not me. Because I would try to stay away from that kind of shit. And she would do it. She would do it, on the playground, when you're outside playing, or she would do it at the bus stop, or she would try to do it where the teachers wouldn't see it. I kid you not. I think we spent, let's see, what grade was this? 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it was during 6th grade. So we spent 3 years in middle school together, and then we went to high school. We went to high school, shit got real. It got really real. And I'm going to tell you how real it got. Because after middle school, high school is a lot different breed of children. A lot more older, a lot more grades. There's usually 4 grades in it. Some districts have 10 through 12. Other grades have 9 through 12. Well, we had 9 through 12. Big school. I kid you not. When she got there, boy, did she change. She changed. I think she was only in that school for a month before she dipped. We never heard from her again. I think, and what I know, is that the person she was bullying, she did not know that they had older siblings. So it's like they patiently waited for her to get to the school. I didn't understand how they thought she was going to come to this damn school, but I guess they knew. And here's my thing. That's what I'm talking about. You don't know who this person is, and you don't know what this person has. And what I mean, I'm talking about family that cares. I'm talking about siblings that want to make sure that their sibling is protected. And if they've been patient in trying to maybe let the situation die down and maybe try to get you to back off a little bit, and then only to come to find out when you get to the school and you're met with their older siblings, I don't think that's good. Now, I don't think, no, she didn't get into a fight or nothing like that. She just found out that they had older siblings and that the older siblings were very popular and I had a lot more influence and friends and stuff like that. So it wasn't like it was a beat down or nothing like that. I think she was scared because she couldn't bully those that she used to bully back in middle school. And I'm sure that's the way a lot of it for some of y'all. Listen, I don't know what's going on in your home. I don't. Ooh, I had to get my my vape on. I don't know what's going on. I don't. But there are a lot of ways to try to understand why kids bullies, why bullies are bullies. Is it a self-esteem issue? Is there something going on at home? Something going on in their life? What draws them to do such a thing? I don't know. I know one is social media. This is my opinion. Take it how you want. One is social media because of what they see. The other ones are their friends because they think they can. You're trying to fit into the crowd, the syndicate that you think is the best group for you because you want to be a part of their crew. Or because you just simply lack the attention from your parents at home and you're lashing out at others for attention. Let me explain something to you. If you feel that you're going through any of these things, something like that, maybe you should try talking to somebody. Maybe the school counselor. I get it. We can't pick our parents. But if you have issues that's going on at home, why take it out on somebody else? Does that make you feel better? Does it make you feel like you're better than that? Because I guarantee you, when it's over at home, it's going to be back on. I mean, when it's over at school, it's going to be back on at home. Sixth grade students experience the most bullying. I wonder why that is. Well, there's no more elementary, I can tell you that. 70% of school staff have seen bullying. 62% witnessed the bullying 2 or more times in a month. Students are less likely to report bullying as they get older. Only 39% of high schoolers notify an adult of bullying. Why? Scared. As parents, when you find out your kid is being bullied, it feels like you are just helpless. I felt like I was helping when my son was being bullied because I wanted a solution. I wanted a resolution. I gave the school just that. But they're telling me I have to do it on my own, even though it happened on their property. I don't understand that. Somebody should change that shit right away. They really should. Because the only reason why I'm saying that, again, I think sitting down with the parent is more effective. We don't need the students in the room. We don't. Maybe for the first 10 to 15 minutes of it so they can explain their side of the story. But then after that, let's dismiss them from the table and let the parents start the negotiating on trying how we can figure to be better parents to get our child to be better. And so this situation doesn't happen again. And then at the end of that dinner discussion, then let's bring them back in for dessert, kind of hash things out, break bread, and get back to what we need to get back to. And that's getting these kids the proper education, teaching them how to be responsible young adults. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we do feel helpless at times. Real talk. I mean, but what can we do? And I think as a parent, I don't think you should get too upset and kind of lash out. And because you're there for your child. % of students who report it being bullied at school indicate that the bullying was related to at least physical appearance, race, gender, disability, ethnicity, religion, and sexual orientation. Over half of the students ages 12 to 18 who reported being bullied believe their bullies had the ability to influence what other students thought of them. That is so true. Yeah. That's what happened to my son. We had a young man that was friends with my son that would come over with his sister, and he was the one that instigated this fight. And even though his mom, I don't want to say she's racist. I just want to say she just kind of likes to stick to her own. I don't know if that makes her a racist, because I don't know. I don't care. But I've always welcomed her kids over here. And I've always, kind of talked to her kids. Be somewhat of a mentor to the kids. But he was one of the ones. So, of course, my boys got upset and said, well, Dad, we need to go handle this. No, we don't. Because we're not that family. We're not that family. Sticks and stones will break our bones, but words will never hurt us. It's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. In this family, we are taught to turn the other cheek. If violence is in play, we won't let anybody harm us in any kind of way. We will defend ourselves. Not with guns. Not with guns. We will first defend ourselves with words. And then we'll try to reach a resolution through there. But never do I want any of this to turn physical. Why would I want that? Who the hell wants that? I don't. I don't want none of that. So I know that if you listen to this podcast, if you are being bullied, tell someone. If you don't feel comfortable talking about it at school, that's fine. I get it. And that's another thing. When my son said what he said to the friend, I said, why don't you go in there and tell him? Again, he was threatened not to snitch. I don't know what this kind of code is of snitching at school. We live in the damn suburbs, damn it. When I go out to the store, it's usually all of us. And we don't roam like we're a gang. We roam like we're a family that is having a good time, because we are having a good time. And when that principal called me and said, I only got half the story, it's okay, because I know he's going to tell me the full story. Because again, this is how I do things in my household. When I come home from work, I may be dog ass tired, but you best believe I'm going to sit down and talk to all 7 of my kids and find out how their day was going. Because I care. And I know some of us parents, we don't have that luxury. I know some of these parents are working 2 and 3 in jobs. They got to get off one job and go to the other. I get it. I understand it. This is what I also want to encourage some of you parents. If you have a good support system, use that support system in place. If you have a good one, don't rely on the kindness of strangers that you may think they might take advantage of the situation. Because if you're too kind, then they will take advantage of the situation. If there's anything that you can do to try to help your child be better, if you know somebody in your family, maybe in your neighborhood, maybe try to get them to try to idolize somebody, try to be something better, try to do something different, try to go about life and figuring out why they're being bullied. And when we can try to figure out why they're being bullied, try to talk to the other parties at play, but bring the school district in, because I think that if it's happening on school property, it should be addressed on school property. Yes, we can talk about it at home, but that's only one side. I want both sides. I want to know why your child is picking on my child, or why your child feels the need that he can just pick on any and everybody. What did my child ever do to you? And that brings me to my next child. My daughter, who is a student that made the honor roll, principal's honor roll last year, and then she made the honor roll for that. This year, she's having a little bit rough time in biology, but she's working on it. her grades are usually always A's and B's. So this year she's not making the honor roll, which she's a little bit disappointed about that, but her grades are still A's and B's. She doesn't really like to settle for a C. She likes to push herself, and she likes to make sure that she goes to school and get all the information that she could possibly get so she can succeed better in life. So, I know. So my daughter called me last week, and it's actually the nurse. The nurse was a little bit upset, and she said that my daughter was choking on a hot Cheeto. And I said, well, is that even possible? What happened? Apparently another student had hit my daughter in the back while she was eating a Cheeto and made her choke, and choked her almost unconsciousness because she was choking on the food. So she, I don't know if they said she administered the Heimlich maneuver or if somebody helped her, but she was really upset. And I'm going to tell you I'm going to show you what's different from the two schools, even though they're both in the same damn district. Oh, sorry, I had to get my vape. Give me just a second. Sorry, I gotta get me some tea. Because I know this podcast is going on for a minute, but I gotta get some things. Hopefully we can get some things in perspective in reference to these bullies. So, my daughter called me and she was very upset. And the nurse was like, well, she can sit here for a little bit. So I talked to my daughter. I said, well, sweetheart, what happened? She said, I was eating a Cheeto, and the girl that was bothering me before asked me for one, and I told her no. So when I put the Cheeto in my mouth, she walked away and she came back and she hit me in my back, and I started choking. So when I said, well, why does she do that? She said, Dad, this is a girl that don't like me. And I said, well, so when she told me that, and I said, is this the same girl that you've been having problems with? She said, yes. The nurse was a little bit more upset. I think she was way more upset than I was, because my daughter is a good student, and I'm sure all students are good students. I don't believe in such a bad kid or bad student. I think everybody is good. They just need to be taught the correct way on how to succeed in life and how to deal with life. So the nurse went so far as to find out who this young lady was. Mind you, they went back into video surveillance and seen everything. Thank you, baby. And seen everything on video. They seen what time it happened, when it happened, why it happened. Even had audio. Sorry, I jumped a little bit ahead of the story. I was getting too excited. But I'm sorry. Let me jump back a little bit. So when she said they were going to find out what happened, they found out what happened. And my daughter, I had to have my boys go pick her up from school because she was a little bit too upset. And I said, that's fine, baby. Just take the day. So now going back to that, they found out. He said, well, Mr. Saunders, this isn't over. We're going to find out. We'll give you a call back by the end of the day. Sure enough, high school didn't disappoint. Did not disappoint. They said, we know who the student is. Student has been reprimanded. She received, I think, 5 days, might have been 5 or 6 days in school suspension. Was I satisfied with that? Yes, I was. Here's what got me even more satisfied. Before students had to report to the school, this young lady came to my daughter and apologized. She said, I was so wrong. She said, I treat you like this because they treat you like this. And I don't know why, because you didn't do anything to anybody. Now, was that the parent or was that the student? I don't know. Might have been both. But that is what I'm talking about. When you hold your child accountable for their actions, they have to understand that there are consequences to your actions. My daughter came home and said, Dad, she apologized to me. And she said she was only doing it because of her friends. Now, mind you, my kids don't get into trouble. If anything, they want to go to school, want to work. They don't do the drama. They're like Daddy. They do no drama. And the friends that they keep are good friends. Friends that keep them having fun, enjoying life and not doing stupid shit. So when I heard that, and I said, well, Cody, what happened? Did you accept their apology? Yes, Dad, I accept their apology. That's good. That's good. Because oftentimes, and this is worse in younger adults, they fear what they don't know. Now, my daughter is not the one who gets into any of this kind of drama bullshit. She just wants to go to school. She wants to learn and she wants to be better. And that's understandable. And I think for what this young lady did, that she apologized, that is a huge step in the right direction. A huge step. That means the parents are teaching her well. Now, how is this different than the middle school? I would expect that the middle school to be doing the same thing what the high school is doing, because all schools are outfitted with the latest technology. I mean, if they can point you out, pinpoint the time, date, even tell you what you're wearing, and even if your damn shoes are tied or untied, oh my God, what the hell is going on with this middle school? But again, I'm not angry. I'm not mad, I'm not sad. But when I got a call from the school saying, well, this is the situation, the actions that were taken of the other student, I felt great about that. And this is the other thing. Why, as a school, we say that we can't tell the parents what happened with the other student? We're not wanting to know their life history. Because in a court of law and public record, we can find out any and all that. Why do we shelter these kids and let them know that what you do here is concealed here? It is not. It is not. It is documented. You have to document it. We're not asking you to post it online, but we want to know the outcome. Because why? In the real world, if somebody does something, then everybody knows what the outcome is. I think the high school has a pretty good notion, because the high school to me is a stepping stone from being an adult. And I think at the high school that they're holding kids a lot more accountable because they are young adults. And you have to understand that if you do something wrong, there are consequences to your action. Let me give you another example. Back in my day, if you were in high school and you got into a real physical fight and altercation, well, not only would you get suspended, but the first one is a warning. But I think after the second year I'd gotten there, the second year of high school, it was made that if you got into a fight, you can be charged with assault and battery, which is true. You go to juvenile court. Can it get off your record? Yeah, community service. And I think that's what should happen here, because oftentimes we see students that are being bullied, and when they're trying to defend themselves, it seems like they're the ones that get the short end of the stick. Why? Because the other students can manipulate the staff into saying that, oh, I felt in fear of my life. I'm the victim. Why? Because they have other friends. That goes back to that bullies have the ability to influence what other students thought of them and what they can do and have them on their side. Not because they're biggest and the baddest. That's because they're only there for the moment. So I've seen this type of thing. When I was going to high school, I've seen people that were bullied. And then I've also seen, as we grew up and as time went on, that they were more successful than the people that were bullying them. And I've seen some that have lost their lives because I think the pressures of the world got to them. Now, I think bullying weighs in heavy on that because they feel that there's no safe space. They don't have anybody that they can turn to. And then the people that they do turn to them, they're only limited in capacity on what they can do. Oh, God, my throat's dry. Get some of this tea. Excuse me. Excuse me again. But I think that I don't ever want it to come to taking your own life because you have a bully that you can't get off your back. Again, telling someone, a parent or a guardian, is very important. It's very important first and foremost. Tell them the correct story. Be truthful about it. Parents are here to help and want to know what's going on with you. I know I do. Your parents, moreover, may then be able to get in touch with staff in school to try to prevent this. And I know it doesn't always work that way. I know what I'm saying to you is easier said than done. When kids come over here, my kids' friends, I talk to them and make sure they're doing all right because I don't want anybody to feel less than while you're at my house. I'm not rich. I'm not poor. I work an average job, and this is who I am. But it's useful. What you should also do, if you can document it, document it. If you can't document it, it's fine. Just try to keep notes of specific incidents. And I know this is going to be kind of hard to do, but I hope that this can get you to a place that you can kind of start taking records of things and maybe showing the person that you report this to, well, this is what happened on such and such day. And if most schools that have camera, which I'm sure they do, then they can kind of go back on it. Also, if you're in a friends group or a school group or some other kind of group and you're on this group and they're posting things about you, screenshot that. Screenshot that and keep records of it. I would. Screenshot it. Save it. I mean, listen, I know that we're kind of limited in what we can do and how we can do it, but I want all students to feel safe. Again, when you're dealing with bullies, this is what I try to tell my kids. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time, it usually doesn't work. If you ignore the problem, it'll go away. And the reason why I say that is because if a bully picks on you every day, it's going to get tiresome to that person every day. And the only reason why I say that is because it's not going to be funny anymore. The friends are going to be like, oh man, you said this yesterday. You said this the other day. Bullies do run out of ways to bully other people. And then keep this in mind. Here's also, it's not funny, but it's sad. When you separate the bullies from the herd, when you split the herd up, they are nothing without their audience. Nothing. And the only reason why I say that is because I've seen that happen before too. And the crazy thing is that when you do see them by themselves, and I'm not saying this is the right thing to do, not something that I would do, but I wouldn't call them out on it. If you want to have a conversation about it, I would probably go that route, that direction. Yeah, that way. That way. So I just don't think, because I know it's okay to confront your bully, but I'm not saying to confront this person to where you guys have to have a knockout, drag out fight. Maybe if they're with their parents and you're with your parents, you say, hey, mom, dad, that's the person that's bullying me. And then they can go to them and say, hey, do you have a moment? Is there a moment of your time that we can sit down and talk? Because you'd be surprised. There are some parents who don't actually know, and there are some parents that actually do know. And you, right off the bat, can tell what kind of parent that you will deal with. If they're so quick to get hostile, if they're so quick to say, oh no, my child never did that. You know what type of parent you're dealing with. You know how the conversation is going to go. It's not going to go the way you think it is. So there's no need of all sides in it. But if you got a parent that says, well, that concerns me, I think we should talk more about it. And if they have time to talk, then you have time to talk. Listen, I have spoken to a lot of parents, not in reference to bullying per se, but in reference to the actions of their child or a fight or something that might have happened, or even when they come over to my house. And for the most part, most of the parents that I deal with is very pleasant. I've had I can't really say maybe even one parent, because I'm that type of parent. I don't need to assert my alpha male dominance. I want to see who you are, and I want you to see who I am. I want you to see the kind of parenting style that I do. I want you to see that how we take care of things here in the D6 Empire household. I don't need to go back and forth and to try to make myself feel better. I don't care what background you come from. You can be rich, poor, living in a hotel. I don't give a damn about none of that. I only care about you as a person and how me and you both can be better parents and how we can navigate our kids to be better. How we can navigate them to be better. So on top of my daughter who experienced that, but her bully, well, I don't want to call the girl a bully. The girl that was giving her a problem apologized to her. One post that caught my attention. This young man also has a daughter. And we'll call him Mr. C. And this is what Mr. C wrote. My daughter has experienced bullying in the secondary school with a boy who also was a target of vicious rumors and innuendo. Both experienced efforts by students to first take pictures of them, mock them on social media, followed by a student randomly whispering, "Go kill yourself," as they passed students in the hallway. When the students were confronted with this behavior by the administration, the actions briefly stopped. However, it almost feels institutionalized harassment as younger adults entering the school engage in similar activities against his daughter. The boyfriend has since changed schools to avoid further incident, and my daughter will attend distance learning in her last year to get away from this toxic environment. My fear is that, alone and isolated, she will descend into depression, similar to how she felt during COVID period. But what else can I do to protect her from those who prey upon her gratuitously? Is there a safe place for her to talk with others about experience that she can put behind? It's sad. It's sad. It really is. It's ridiculous. Because I don't know why we do stuff like that. Why should we have to feel like we should have to run away from something that we didn't create? Why? Sometimes it feels good to do that. I commend this father, but I do understand his fears that if she's alone, she's going to feel isolated and descend into depression. I think there should be some kind of counseling if he can get to the counseling, or maybe try to provide some counseling. Now, I do think getting her away from that environment is good, but I don't think kind of taking her away from the situation, it does help, but maybe for her to understand on how it's not her fault. Because taking her away from the situation is going to deem like it's her fault and she's running from the situation. And I'm sure that's not the father's intentions. I don't think it is. I think he's just trying to protect his daughter. And he has every right to do that. But daughters. I think kids need that social interaction so they don't fall into that kind of depression state. Yes, what was said about her was not good. And I think that most of the times when people do stuff like that, it's usually because they can do it. They can get away with it, and they know they can get away with it, and they feel good about it. And they got, again, a huge following of friends, or they're trying to do it for the clout. They're trying to do it for the likes and, oh, this person said this, that, and the other, not knowing that this can backfire on them at any given time. And you know what the crazy bad thing about being a bully is? You have a reputation to try to maintain, and to try to maintain that reputation is even harder. Because here's the other thing. When you try to maintain that reputation of being a bully, there's always somebody bigger and badder than you. And when you meet your match, which we all know that does tend to happen, how will you decide to deal with it? You know, a lot of people say that the shoe should be on the other foot. It should be. It should be. And I know a lot of us want swift justice right away, but it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't. And sometimes you never even really figure out when it happens to that person until it really happens. Now, I know that when you're being bullied, we wish the worst of things that happen to these bullies. I don't wish anything bad. I think every bully will have his day. And when every bully has his day, then they will deal with that day. I don't wish death. I don't wish violence. I don't wish none of that. But my hat's off to this parent. I just think that, me personally, I would try to do some things differently. I don't want you to isolate your daughter because I know you want to protect your daughter, but isolating her is not going to do any good because I don't want her to feel like she's losing control. Always, if you're a parent, always encourage your kids and let them know that they are in control. You stand behind them 100%. And how you get that control back is that we deal with it. Yes, he did say he did speak to the administration again. Schools are limited. It's bad. It makes no sense. I don't know why. But when my daughter came to me and she said that, I did not once ask, well, what did you do? How do you think you could have done this different? No. I asked her, are you okay? Daddy, we'll take care of it and we will get to the bottom of it. So it brings me back to ways of dealing with bullies. Report bullying and victimization incidents to the school. Inform teachers, principals, other school helpers. Now this one, kind of had a problem with because my son did just this and he still did not feel safe. He had to go to his therapist, which is in the school, in order to get something done. And the therapists are contracted. I think it's through the district or through DESE, I think. Don't quote me on that. I think. But even they wanted to see change. So, and the sad thing is that when we tell these teachers, principals, or helpers or whatever, kind of gets lost in translation. Kind of depends on what they're dealing with. I'm not sure they mean to do that because I don't think they do. I think they just have a lot on their plate. I think there should be more building administrators in the building rather than just the building principal and the two assistants. Now, I know some schools have way more than that. They have a building administrator, then they have four administrators. And I think that's what I had back in my day. Back in my day, we had a building administrator and we had 4 assistant principals. And that took a lot of pressure off. Because when you're dealing with a school that has roughly maybe 1,500 kids, if not more, maybe a little bit more than that, then you need all that support you can get. I think that, again, going into the school year, I think at the first top of the school year, there should be an assembly right off the bat, a month after school has started, to say this is what we're going to do at such and such school this year. We're first going to combat bullying. We're first going to tell you that if any and everybody feels like you're dealing with bullying, there is a line that you can text or someone that you can go to. And you don't even have to be seen or heard. And if you want ways to try to deal with the bully, try to figure out how we can do this, here's my other thing. If you have friends that are friends with this bully, or they think that, they don't mean anything by it, maybe your friend needs to either reevaluate their friendship with you, because I know you're going to reevaluate your friendship with them. If they want to be friends with this person, they want to stand by and watch you get bullied instead of speaking up and saying something, they were never your friends to begin with. It's a hard pill to swallow, especially if you've been friends with this person since you were in diapers. But people change. You know, people change, things change. I mean, what can you do? So it's important to let your school know about any bullying incidents, because there are many other students being bullied by the same person. And if that's the case, then this bully he has one hell of a job, and he ain't doing it by himself. Now, I'm trying to see, because I don't condone violence. I don't. But I did always tell my kids that if anybody puts your hands on you, then there's one way you can take them down. And I did tell them, listen, I'm not going to condone this, none of this on the radio. So my suggestion is this. If a bully ever puts your child in a situation, maybe give them some defense mechanism to disarm them. If they touch them first, not the other way around. If a bully smacks you, if a bully hits you, or they're doing something to you in the bathroom. Because I gave all my kids a defensive tactic to disarm a bully and then run like hell to the administration. And that's me as a parent. Again, I don't condone violence. I don't. And I'm not saying guns, knives, none of that. A simple disarming tactic. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm just going to encourage parents that if you want to deal with bullies, or if your child is being physically harmed by a bully, give them a defensive tactic to disarm them so they can get out of there and run to seek help. So that's all I'm saying. So parents, I think it's important. Students, I think it's important that you talk openly about bullying. Just talking to someone about your experience can bring a little bit of relief, because again, it is not your fault. It's not your fault. And Mr. C, I hope with your daughter that you are talking to your daughter and saying, hey, it's not your fault. You're better than that. Because I don't want her to feel isolated. She should go out there. She should have friends. She should be able to leave the comfort of her home and have a good time. They may offer helpful solutions, but should be approached in lieu of telling your parents or a school personnel. Just talking about this experience and feeling can help you feel less alone. And this is one, as parents should take into consideration, some children should seek counseling. There is some success in that. My kids are in therapy. Listen, I am in therapy. Okay? Even though my kids are in therapy, I am in therapy too. Why am I in therapy? That's for another day. But I'm getting help with my issues. My kids are getting help with their issues. I think that it helps to talk about with somebody outside of family, outside of friends, because they can put things into perspective for you. This is for you students. This next one. Don't be afraid to speak up. Telling adults is not snitching. You're not in jail. You're not in prison. It's not tattletelling. It's you getting to the bottom, to the root of this. Bullying is not a small issue. It is a serious thing. So if you have friends that see you getting bullied, or if you have somebody that knows that you're getting bullied and they don't want to say anything about it, but you see it happening or it's happening to you, yeah, feel free to, go tell somebody. Because let me tell you something. Again, this is what I tell my kids. Your loyalty is to nobody but yourself, to me, and God. Probably in the reverse order, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Huh? Hmm. But if you think a student can threaten you, and I know in today's world that when somebody threatens another student, we kind of take it seriously, and we should because of what's going on in the world today. Because when my son was being bullied, his bully tried to turn the tables on him and try to make himself look good, and went and told the administration. And then that's how the administration always jump on the same damn ship as accusing my son of doing something who has never, ever been in trouble until he got to this school. And I told him that if he's never gotten, we've been in this district since the elementary days. If you see his record, you see his team, he's never gotten in any trouble. We've never written for any disciplinary committees. He's not medicated or nothing like that. He learns different, and he's very hyperactive. That does not give any and everybody the right to put my son down because he's an easy target. And that's the sad thing is there are a lot of bullies out there who can manipulate these teachers into thinking that it was your fault instead of theirs. And then what's even more worse, as I keep going back to, bullies have the ability to influence what other students thought of them. They do. And that's exactly what happened. So, Mr. C, I pray that if there's a common ground, you can find it. Sir, if you want to email me or write to me, I will leave all this information at the end of the podcast. And I know as parents, we want to protect our kids. There's also another way. If you are being bullied and you see the same patterns happening every day, and I know sometimes that this is hard, but avoid the bullying whenever possible. And the only reason why I say it's hard, because the bully has friends, and friends acting as the loyalty to their leader or their syndicate. And they want to try to get this bully in the same place as you are, just so they can get a rise or an excitement or a like or this, that, and the other. If you can avoid your bully, when and never possible, do that. I would urge you to, if you're trying to do such a thing, to maybe talk to your counselor to see what other ways that you can do. I don't want you to cut school. You know, my son and this other student were in the same class, and I requested that they change the class. My son did like the class, but I said, listen, in order for us to kind of resolve this issue and not have this problem, since we're not allowed to talk to the parents, as a parent, this is what I'm asking you to do. This is what I want you to do. I'm asking you to remove my child from this classroom, put him in a different class. Now, I know we all don't have that luxury. I get that. But my son has a team that's dedicated to him because of his issues. So it is whenever you can. And then this is what, if you have that friend that is loyal to you as a friend, you have that friend that is always has your best interest at heart, maybe walk with that friend. Because here's the other thing. My daughter, when this incident happened, had an outflow of support. Partially in part because it's a lot of my kids, and they know that we don't roll like that. They know we don't get down like that. So they would always walk her to class and to say, hey, I got you. And these are friends that don't want to see anything happen on both sides. But make no mistake about it. If these are friends that'll speak up for you and say, hey, you're not going to do this to my friend because I'm here, that's a good friend. These are the same friends that come to the house, that enjoy each other's company, and that have a good time. That's the kind of friends you need to surround yourself with. Again, this is what I tell my kids. You never know what somebody is going through. You never know. Now, just because they're going through something doesn't give you the right to bully or say anything. If you're a bully yourself, if you're listening to my podcast and you're bullying other kids, this is what I want you to do. If you got something going on at home, I understand. If things don't go your way, if you have parents that are divorcing, or if there's something that's affecting your decision with your parents because either they're fighting or they're always arguing, or you see something that either parent's not doing right, and I mean right by there's something in the family that doesn't sit well with you, seek counseling. Go talk to your school counselor. Maybe ask your parents to take you to counseling. I'm sure they're going to want to know why, but just say you think this is for you. But ask yourself, is bullying somebody really going to help? Does it really make you happy? It can't make you happy. Is it just a phase? I hope it's a very quick phase. I really do. Feel good about who you are. Ask yourself what makes you feel and look your best. Emphasize on your strengths and your talents and your goals. Feeling good about yourself will make you so much confident and help you build your self-esteem. Don't let anybody take anything away from you that is meant for you. I don't care how negative people think of me, what people say about me. Again, it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. So we all have a part, but the bullies need to take the most part and try to be the most better and the most actively in not being a bully and successfully succeeding in life. Because again, if you're bullying now, I guarantee you, if you don't change your ways and you get out of high school and you navigate this real world, you're going to find out how difficult it is. And you never know what comes around, what goes around. Karma is real. It can happen to you. Just because you think you're doing it now and you have friends that are laughing with you, who's to say when you're up there, somebody's not going to like you? Because this world is very nasty. It is. How I choose not to deal with it, I don't engage. I keep myself surrounded by positivity. I keep myself surrounded by good people that I can talk to, because I still don't have any friends. I'm trying to. But I think I like the way my life is. Yes, still single, but it's all good. It's all good. Parents, if you know your child is engaging in this kind of behavior, maybe try to talk to them and find out why we're doing this. Don't get so angry. There's a reason for everything. Maybe it's something that's going on at home. Maybe it's something that fellow students want them to do. Peer pressure. When faced with a bully, sometimes acting brave is enough. Bullies will try any approach to try to discredit you. They'll try to talk bad about you. They'll try to say things that are not so true. They'll try to post things about you. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Things are not true. Let me tell you guys something. There are very few things in life that come back on us. Very few things. I'm talking about the positive things, not the negative things. And what I mean by that, if a bully posts something about you that you know is not true, that's fine. Because again, somebody's going to do it to them. And we've seen time and time again that we've seen people that bullied people that were racist, and in their younger days, when it came out, it ruined their career. So what they thought they wanted to be in the future didn't know that in the past, what you did in the past, it caught up to you. Is it sad? Hell yeah, it's sad. Because I tell y'all now, whatever you do now, what you post, what you say, what you do, if it's negative, has an impact on your life as you grow older, has an impact on your life when you're getting that nice job. Let's say hypothetically that you were bullying somebody all through middle school, high school. Oh, you were just a runt. You were just a complete asshole. But you changed your ways after high school. Now you're this successful person. You're doing things and you're trying to be better at life. And, you got your name and your face on a magazine. Well, that one person that you bullied has a record of it. A text message. That's the bad thing about technology today. You can keep it, store it, and if this person gets older or decides to be successful, it can all come out. And you lose everything. And then the person that you bully, they win because what you did to them back in the day is exactly what they did to you. Now, I don't believe in two wrongs make it right. I really don't. But what are you going to do? But again, it is karma, serious karma. And I tell you, karma does come back on you. And when karma comes back on you, it will come back on you hard. So, listen. I know as parents, we want to help our kids. I know as parents, we want what's best for our children. And we can only hope that. That's why I encourage all parents just to talk to your kids. If your kids are shutting down, please take the time to understand your child. I don't care how busy your damn schedule is. I don't. I'm busy. I work 10 hours a day. I still have time to come home, cook, clean, talk to all 7 of my children to find out how their day is. Because I want them to go to bed feeling that I care for you and I love you. And I want you to understand that I'm always going to be here for you. I may not be able to solve any and everything, but damn it, we can get through it together. And I will try my best to fight for you always. As long as you're in the wrong. As long as you're in the right, not the wrong, the right. And even if you are wrong, then we will deal with the consequences. We will talk about the consequences. We will talk about what's going to happen. But I don't ever want you to feel like you have done something wrong because you did nothing wrong. You are my child and I love you. Sometimes kids need to hear that from their parents. I know a lot of us, as I see on social media posts, would do any and just that. But when we encourage such a negative behavior and a negative outcome, then where's the love going? That's not love. You think by your child doing that makes him tougher. It doesn't. It doesn't. Because what you think is making it tougher is actually being hard on them. It's actually telling them that they can't live up to you unless they do it your way or do it this way. Maybe they don't want to try it that way. But yeah, I know yesterday well, you get on a defense attack. Yes, if the defense attack was there ever cornered and somebody puts hands on them, what they need to do to get out of that, if they can do it. So by no shape, form, means am I encouraging any violence because I don't get down like that. And this message is for the schools. I hope that you are an administrator, maybe a school official or parent, and you listen to this podcast. I think that you should get back into the habit of having assemblies every quarter. I think the assembly should be an assembly of letting the students know that you are safe, that we are doing any and everything. The assembly is not about, complaining. It's about educating. Have guest speakers come in. Yeah, there are some students that'll think it's lame. Did I think it was lame? Maybe the first 5 minutes that we got into it, it was lame. But by the end, we all came out feeling a little bit differently and a little bit better. Back in my day, we lost students. I think we lost 4 students in less than a month and a half's time due to gang violence. We lost some due to suicide. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't that high back then as it is today, because there are a lot of factors that play into that. I know you school districts want to do better, and you have done better. Maybe figure out what other districts are doing that you could be doing. Maybe try to figure out ways that you can help these students that are being bullied, and maybe get with the bully, get with the person that is being bullied. If you're friends with their family, again, it's safety first. Because when you let it fall on deaf ears, it's like you're giving that student a pass because they know your parents. I don't care what anybody has on anybody. It can't be that bad where you can't call it out when this happens on your watch. We've seen so many school shootings. We've seen students getting stabbed for no good reason at all. Because some are jealous of them, some don't hate them, some fear what they just simply don't know. So as we get ready to close this show out, bullying is a global movement among millions of people. DoSomething.org. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. I said that way backwards. DoSomething.org. A global community, a global movement of millions of young people making positive change, online and off. This DoSomething.org is a site dedicated for bullying prevention, or ways that we can, kind of prevent bullying, spreading kind words and good vibes at your school through our sorry, it's something in my throat. So spreading kind words and good vibes at your school, that can happen. If anybody of you or any one of you are being bullied, call the No Bully helpline. Now, this number is for in the United States. I know I have some listeners that are not in the United States. I'm not sure what those are. But I know in the United States, the help hotline, the No Bullying helpline, is 1-866-488-7386. I will include this in the posting of my podcast. Now, on the helpline, they also have a chat line that you'll have to probably take a look at. They also have a GLBT National Youth Talk Line, which is at 1-800-246-7743. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. If you're having these thoughts, please give this number a call. 1-800-273-8255. Again, DoSomething.org. Parents, I challenge you to look into this. If you know your child is being a bully, please try to do something about it. Try to spread love, positivity, encouragement. Don't be so angry. Don't come down hard on them. Talk about it. You may be angry with them, but anger doesn't get anybody nowhere. It just makes it worse. If you're a child or a teenager that is being bullied, you're thinking about suicide, give this number a call. But I first want you to talk to your parents. If you can. If you can talk to your parents. If you can't talk to your parents, try another family member. Somebody that you can bestow your trust upon. Somebody that has your best interest at heart. My friends, I hope that we as parents can come together. And if it has been, excuse me. Oh goodness, got a frog in my throat. And if it has been that your child is being bullied, I hope that you can sit down with the other parents and try to figure out a resolution, not just get so angry about it. Because again, your child doesn't need to see that display. If you know your child, the best thing you can hold your child accountable for are their actions. Because if you don't do it now, in the future, there will be more harsher punishments. And I don't want to say any kid is bad, because I don't believe in a bad kid. I just think they're misguided at times. I'm not saying nothing about the parents, Misguided means they could be seeing stuff on the internet. But you can help guide your child back to positivity. I encourage it every day. Therapy might help. Again, 3 of my kids are in therapy. I'm in therapy. Therapy. Look at me. Time for me to go eat, y'all. But till next time, my friends, I pray that everything is good. I pray that as a parent that you can do what's right for your child and don't make it feel like that your child is in the wrong. And I know we want to try to help them by taking them out the situation, but I think that only further makes it worse. I'm not saying leave them in there to get bullied, but maybe a different change of scenery. So you never look good trying to make someone else look bad. Courage is fire and bully is smoke. So as we get ready to get out of here, just want the best for everybody. I really do. I really do. I hope that if you're a bully that you're listening to this and you can decide to maybe do things differently, maybe help that person that you're bullying, or simply just try to change your ways altogether. So my friends, till next time, bullies, be a buddy, not a bully. Pulling someone down will never help you reach the top. Remember that. Your friend's only there for the moment. So my friends, till next time, if you have any questions, concerns, complaints, or if you want to simply talk about this, D6Empire at 357 at gmail.com. As I said before, the hotline numbers will be posted in my description of this podcast. Please don't let anybody take anything away from you, because you're better than that. You're more than that. You're smarter than that. Someone loves you. Someone needs you. Until next time, my friends, you guys take care of yourself and each other. My name is Derek. I am D6Empire. We'll see you on the next one.